Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. So excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films. Occasionally, not so geeky ones too. And I also like to mix things up once in a while by not reviewing anything. Hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents The Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they can please do sign for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. And Smash Trivia has a Patreon too, so please check that out. We have some fantastic extra content on there. I bet you'll have a Hulk smashing good time. The tiers are as follows: $1 a month is Hulkaholic for a dollar, $3 a month is The Reading Room with Hulky and Shulky, and $5 a month is Smashing the TV. I also now offer custom trivia games on Fiverr, so if you want to take your game night to the next level, you can hire me. A link to the Fiverr is in the episode description. Now that we have all that important stuff out of the way, let's smash right into this episode. Hey, my Gamma friends. Today I'm joined by my co-host Keith. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing good, John. How you doing?
I'm doing good too. So today, we were going to be reviewing a unreleased a Fantastic Four film from the '90s, but and sadly certain things have changed. So that review will come out in a couple weeks, most likely. We'll be reviewing. Oh, we'll actually be recording that a couple days after this. But we're going to instead do something. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. I found online the script for a canceled Hulk film from the '90s. So we're gonna read a part of that script today. And as always, our Hulk Holler for $1. We have Derek Sager, Gabriel Floro, Earl, and Film Critter. Let's get into this script. So this is Hulk by Jonathan Hennick,
Hensley.
Hensley. Okay.
Hensley, yeah.
This is fun. So a little bit of background for anyone listening. This Hulk film was going to be one that was not going to use either like a actual guy as Hulk like Lou Ferrigno one, or using CGI like what they've been doing for the past 20 years. This Hulk film was going to use an animatronic Hulk, and they actually ended up making for the most part that animatronic Hulk into existence. And which let me actually real quick look that up so I can show you, Keith, the Hulk animatronic.
I'm excited. I want to talk really quickly about if this is the Jonathan Hensley that I'm thinking of. This guy has written some pretty great and some pretty okay scripts, but to be honest, more big than bad. He wrote the Punisher movie 2004. He wrote the story and the screenplay for 1998's Armageddon. He wrote the Val Kilmer movie The Saint. He wrote the original Jumanji and Die Hard with a Vengeance. This guy has done some big hits in the 90s, and to get him to do Hulk would not have been a bad choice. I'm going to be honest with you. It looks as though it could have been awesome. So, but to do an animatronic Hulk, holy shit, that's like,
oh yeah,
90s were big for animatronics. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Jurassic Park was only as amazing as it was because of animatronics, but it was a blending of animatronics and CG, and it was a blending that didn't show the dinosaurs as much as you'd expect to see the Hulk in a Hulk film. So I'm thinking it's like Jaws or something, where like this original script allowed for maybe 3 shots, maybe 4 shots total of the Hulk all hulked out, because you don't want to overuse animatronics when it doesn't move the same way.
Can you see that?
God. Oh my God! I'm like,
Do I need to change the brightness?
I can kind of see the torso. I can't see the head that much. If there's not much of the head, then that's okay. But
There is a full head on there.
whoa, okay, I see it better now. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, does he have a flat top, flat head,
yeah.
like Frankenstein style? Wow, someone was drawing some inspiration from a Universal picture
This,
monster.
which
Makes sense.
I
Universal
think
owns the
I
rights.
think there actually is like a little bit of video of him moving. I don't know if I can find that, but that's which is actually really cool. Is honestly, I think it's a really cool concept of trying to do a animatronic Hulk.
I mean, the animatronic main characters in the 90s were, and the late 80s was like their bread and butter. Like E.T.,
Uh-huh.
Harry and the Hendersons, they had characters that led movies that just had faces that moved slightly.
Oh
And
yeah.
they didn't have to emote a ton, but my God, were they cool at the time. Like the Ninja
Uh,
Turtles movie, 1992. Holy shit, that made me so happy. Was it 1992
uh,
or 1990? It might have been
I don't
1990.
remember.
But it's great. And it's a blast to
Yeah,
watch, to look back on. But
I love those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films from the 90s. Those are great.
and all you'd
Um,
really have to do is figure out a way to robotically articulate the words Hulk smash, and the rest of it could have been just body and voiceover.
you know,
Yeah.
happily though, all of the or most of those animatronic versions of characters and characters from the 90s and the 80s are a lot better than how they did the thing in that 90s Fantastic Four film.
Yeah. In Fantastic 94. Yeah. There's good and bads about it. I mean,
Mhm.
we'll get into it when we review it, but yeah,
Yeah.
there that the way he looked and having grown up with low budget, even some low budget comic book movies, because the most it reminded me of was a movie called Generation X, which was like a straight to VHS movie,
Mhm.
but super low budget, and
Mhm.
Roger Corman's known for that. Um but the yeah, a birdie told me recently that MCU might have gotten the rights. Marvel
They
Studios
might
might have gotten
have.
the rights
They
to the
might
Hulk.
have. I'm
I figured you'd be
The
the
thing
guy to
is,
know.
so okay, there is some confusion online on that. Most people, first, last week, we thought that they had because
How could it be on Disney
there
Plus?
had been rumors that the owner said it was a 15-year contract act with Universal where if they did not make a Hulk film within 15 years that they would lose the rights to Hulk. And then the fact that the Incredible Hulk came on the Disney Plus, us made us all think that must mean that these rumors are true. Um, like within an hour or two after that, the Variety put out an article about it, and it was and it they said particularly they put in quotes that the rights to the Incredible Hulk have reverted to Marvel, which means that we don't know whether it was actually a just the rights for the character or if it is just simply the rights for that one film have reverted back so that Disney can and put that film on wherever they want to, or if it's actually the whole rights for the character.
That's crazy. To me, it's like if the rights to the Hulk went back to just Marvel in general, and Marvel being split between now just two studios, Sony and Disney, if they didn't fully support giving all carte blanche to Disney to do whatever they want with the Hulk, it'd be very shocking. And for Universal to keep bogarting it or finding ways to hog all Hulk rights when you know the Hulk is in the freaking MCU already and he's done very well, and so is She-Hulk. Sorry, naysayers, but She-Hulk was fantastic. Yeah, it would be silly to let it go to waste. It's just it would shock me that Universal has so many other things, and I know that Disney is a monopoly and they are scooping up everything left, right, and center. They scooped up Fox. It's crazy to me that they have so much now, but at the same time, I don't want to see another Universal Hulk movie. I don't want to see them do anything with the Hulk anymore. I want them to give the Hulk over to MCU so that we can see Kevin Feige and what he can come up with. Because Universal does not have a comic book sense in my mind, in my opinion. I want to see them focus on straightening out their, ridiculously ambitious Universal monster universe. Just figure that out. Stop making mummy movies with Tom Cruise and just make a fucking Dracula werewolf, Wolfman Frankenstein movie and make us happy.
I don't think that monster universe is ever gonna end up actually happening.
Well, it's funny because it's like an age like that. Idea, that concept was already happening in the 40s. They had their each individual original origin stories in the 30s, and then they had House of Frankenstein in the 40s, and it was already like a MCU team up kind of thing. And they've done that with Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges, and they've had several times where they mixed them all together and had them interact with each other. So it's not as though the blueprint isn't there so long ago that it's very shocking to me that they didn't figure it out. But they're like, oh no, we'll make a mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and it'll be great, and then we'll try and make a funny Dracula movie that never fucking happened, and then did a Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman, and it just kept muddying the waters. Things got too complicated. They couldn't rein it in the way that Marvel does. Yeah, it's weird.
All right, so let's get into
back on track. Say, Keith, you're going off the rails.
Before we actually start reading, I'm thinking. Do you want to let's have let's pause every maybe 5 pages so we can talk about what we read and be see what we're thinking about is it good?
I love it. Yeah, no, let's do that. It's a good idea.
All right. So, okay. You want to start Art with the narration / what describing what's going on in scenes?
You got it.
All right.
Prison official yanks a noose, testing the rope's strength. Below, an official hits a lever, releasing a sandbag through the trap door. The rope snaps taut. Cut 2. Interior. New Iberia Prison, Louisiana. Gas chamber. Day. Double doors bang open. A prison official leads in 2 guards escorting the Hispanic convict, Hector.
Dead man walking.
The guards lead Hector into a gas chamber. They seat him, strap him down, and exit. Airtight seals lock. Cut back to interior, Joliet State Prison electric chair, day. Guards strap convict Novak into the electric chair. A metal band circles Novak's head, cables curling from it. Novak stares with dead eyes at the Juliet warden, calm, still chewing his gum. The warden nods to the official who reaches for the switch. Suddenly, a phone next to the warden rings. All eyes stare at the phone. Interior, Caribou State Penitentiary, gallows, day. Convict Deacon mounts the gallows platform. The Caribou State warden and other prison officials stand below. A hangman fixes a black shroud over his head, lowers the noose, and draws the knot. He goes to release the lever. A guard rushes into the courtyard.
Warden, it's the governor.
Interior, New Iberia Prison electric chair, day. Convict Hector is in the gas chamber, staring out at the warden and observers. The warden nods to an official who begins to throw the cyanide gas emission switch. A phone rings. The warden answers. A pause. Then...
Yes, Mr. Governor.
End titles and fade out. Bruce Banner. And I think OS means overseen. I can't remember. But anyways, it's probably voiceover.
Okay.
Bruce Banner.
Mars. A flight time of 7 months. Flight time of 7 months. Rocky soil. Unbreakable. Air. Arctic cold. How long before we have our first Martian colony? 100 years? 200? And in what shape will Earth be then?
Exterior, Mars surface, day. Red, jagged rocks under a hazy salmon sky. The image is sent from Sojourner 1. Sojourner 1. It looks hot and arid, but it's really negative 60. The famous Twin Peaks rise in the background.
Building materials and equipment, and think again. And we can't haul a bulldozer and steel girders up there. Not with existing space technology. And how will normal humans work in this environment?
A Martian colonist crests a hill, wearing only a thin Gore-Tex suit, breathing through a scuba rebreather. His skin is reddish, radiating heat.
But what if we redefine normal?
The colonist stoops, picking up 1,000-pound boulder. He walks off with it, like an ant carrying a crumb.
What if our colonists didn't mind the cold, and they didn't need sleep, and could do the work with just their hands?
Angle widens to a huge colony. In the far distance background, built entirely from Martian surface rocks. Exterior, Mars, southern pole, icy tundra. An icy tundra, 2 Martian colonists drag icebergs the size of small houses across the ice in insulated Gore-Tex bodysuits and scuba rebreathers. Banner.
Those icebergs will be turned into drinking water and liquid oxygen propellant for the return trip. Here at Mars' South Pole, well, it's 90 below, but those workers don't look uncomfortable.
Exterior, Mars, deep ravine. Steep land formations on both sides. 2 Martian colonists leave their rover vehicle and approach a jagged iron oxide boulder in their way. Banner.
That iron oxide boulder weighs 4.5 tons.
One man with outstanding speed and aggression burrows into the boulder, spewing rock chips like a jackhammer. The other smashes the boulder in 2 with his fists. Each picks up half the boulder and tosses it aside. Banner.
You don't see that on Earth every day, and they can do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no sleep, and minus this 90 Fahrenheit, wearing a Gore-Tex windbreaker.
Camera pans slowly across the Martian surface to a man in a gray suit, horn rims, staring directly into the camera like Rod Sterling. The 2 colonists walk off in the background, and the camera stops, framing Bruce Banner. Banner.
We can't change Mars, but at amalgamated dynamics, we can change man. If Martian colonization is science fiction to you, at amalgamated dynamics, it's all science and no fiction.
Nice. Image fades, and we are in interior Arizona Mars launch facility briefing room. Night. The video screen goes dark. Sitting there are convicts Deacon, Novak, and Hector in wrists and ankle shackles. Heavily armed U.S. Marshals ring the room. Agent McGurk of the Central Governmental Agency, which will not divulge hereinafter, addresses the convicts. McGurk is ruthless, authoritarian, possessing a morality which is at best situational. McGurk.
The offer is on the table. Accept. We move forward. Don't accept, you'll be remanded back to your respective penitentiaries for immediate execution.
I'll do the other guy.
Okay.
Deacon. I got a question for them, the doctors. Widen to Bruce Banner and Dr. Molly Mickelson next to McGurk. Banner is a triple PhD and reflects this in all ways. Molly, an MD, is no slouch. Banner's equal. Deacon, go over this procedure again. Banner.
Gamma radiation, common in outer space, uncommon on Earth.
Novak, not what it is, what it does. Molly.
It's simple, apparent benefit to man, and is that it stimulates growth in genetically altered tissue.
The convicts exchange glances. This gets them going all at once. Novak. What if I like my tissue the way it is? Deacon. Does it hurt? I'll kick somebody's ass if it hurts. Hector. I ain't gonna be turned into a freak, man. McGurk. Sharp.
Quiet.
The convicts shut up, but they still want answers. Banner.
You won't be freaks. You'll be different. One of you will be stronger. The strength to weight ratio of say an ant or a beetle.
Deacon. I can dig that. Molly.
One will have a higher metabolism like a hummingbird. You'll have to eat more, but won't need sleep.
Hector. I like eating. Don't like sleeping. Banner.
And one will run hotter. Your temperature will read 98.6, but about 130. You'll be able to walk across the North Pole in a gym suit.
Molly.
You'll ultimately be given some in all three: greater strength, higher metabolism, hotter body temperature.
Novak. But otherwise, we're normal, right?
That's the idea.
Okay, I do this and I ain't saying I'm gonna, but I'm going back to the hole, but I'm not going back to the hole. That's what he meant to say. McGurk.
You'll have quarters at San Ramos Air Force Base. You'll have anything you want: food, liquor, entertainment, within reason. Acceptable?
Novak. Let's see that letter again. McGurk pushes a form across the table to each man. Hector. Whoa, the President's John Hancock looks up. Look, docs. Multiple docs. I've never heard multiple docs called that. Look, docs. Bottom line, how dangerous are we talking? Banner and Molly Mickelson exchange a glance. Molly.
We haven't performed this therapy before, yes. The procedure has some inherent risk.
Novak. So does the electric chair. Novak signs, then Deacon, then Hector. McGurk nods to Banner, who hits a switch. The wall retracts into the ceiling and floor, revealing a flood-lit 6-story launch gantry and the Mars booster rocket. Banner.
The AD-3 booster, the first Earth nuclear propulsion system used in space. The Mercedes of rockets. You'll see her launch in 6 days.
Novak. Cadillac. I drive a Cadillac. Banner.
Actually, before we
stop here,
yeah, we're
yeah, we hit 6 pages quick.
Yeah. So how you feel so far? This is
well,
weird.
I mean, it is weird. I mean, it almost feels like it shouldn't be Banner and this, Banner and this team, like maybe the rest of the team, but it almost feels like Banner shouldn't be involved in creating these potential supervillains, which is what I feel like is going to happen next. Like this is all setting up to make these 3 ex-convicts who are being used as guinea pigs with genetic alterations to exist on Mars. They're putting them in harm's way. It's also very far-fetched, but I don't hate it. It's just weird that Banner's a part of it.
This doesn't really feel like Bruce Banner to me. He's never really been someone who's involved in space travel a
That's
lot.
true. Yeah.
But also, though, a lot of the lines that he's saying sound to me like he is a commercial for this company,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
does not feel like how Bruce Banner acts. He's never really been like, I'm just gonna shill for a product. No, instead he no with the U.S. military in the comics and in like the Incredible Hulk movie, you see he literally is like, I'm doing my own thing. If I see that you guys are doing something bad, I'm not doing it.
Well, he's trying to like he's always supposed to be for the greater good. Like
Yeah,
he's the doctor that we want on our side to try and cure cancer one day. Like
yeah,
he's the guy trying to make sure that every illness goes away type of thing. He's trying to cure sickness. But,
this feels really weird. Where like, oh, like I can't. I never in my life would have thought that the start of a Hulk film would have. It sounded like Banner was on Mars.
It does sound very much like this same screenwriter's Armageddon. Because Armageddon, have you ever seen that movie?
I think at some point when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything from it.
It would be very interesting to do an entire series of movies like that got I think it was Michael Bay and what's his name? Bruckheimer. Michael Bay directed it and Jerry Bruckheimer produced, I'm pretty sure. But essentially it's about a bunch of kind of like workaday, blue collar Joes who are drillers, oil drillers working on an oil rig that get thrown onto an asteroid to try and stop and blow up the asteroid to save Earth. So these regular workaday guys, these normal dudes, become heroes in Earth's eyes to go up there, and because they're the only people who could work the drilling equipment. I don't know why it's so specifically they have to do it, but it seems like that kind of feel. Not to compare every screenwriter to their own material, but it's like you're taking convicts and you're making them able to work on Mars by giving them superpowers. It's very weird. But yeah, I agree. He does seem like a bit of a corporate shill in this scenario.
It's weird.
Banner.
All right. Well, we can continue. So
Banner.
The next launch window is 26 months to the day from now, which means in little over 2 years, you should be living on another planet.
McGurk.
We start in the morning. Marshall, take them to San Ramos.
The convicts rise. U.S. Marshals lead them out. Molly watches them exit. Cut 2. Exterior. Amalgamated Dynamics Gamma Reactor Facility. Day. Jeez, I'm surprised I got all that out. The next day, camera pans from the launch gantry sitting 2 miles across the desert floor to a sign saying, Amalgamated Dynamics, the future is now. As a security transport vehicle drives under the sign into the Gamma Reactor Facility, like a standard nuclear reactor with a containment dome and surrounding buildings, 10 U.S. Marshals wait with shotguns. Shotguns, Jesus. The vehicle stops, doors open. Deacon, Novak, and Hector in wrists and ankle shackles duck walk off the vehicle. Duck walk. If you're a Drag Race fan listening, you better walk that duck. Anyways, interior Amalgamated Dynamics Gamma Reactor Facility. Day. Banner, Molly, McGurk watch the convicts offloading from the upstairs window. A group of Amalgamated executives approach. The leader is Amalgamated's CEO, Sam Dash. Dash is 50 with an ubiquitous cigar. Ubiquitous? My bad. With a ubiquitous cigar. He is a vulgar, disgusting man, but shrewd. A player. Sam Dash.
Our geniuses.
Nods out the window.
They's the guinea pigs.
Molly.
They're human beings. I prefer the phrase subject or patient.
An embarrassing pause. Sam Dash.
Is there a problem here, Dr. Mickelson?
McGurk.
Dr. Mickelson, if your sympathies prevent you from doing this, we can replace you.
Molly.
Calm down. I see I saw your files. I saw their files. I know they're scum, but are we condemning them to something worse than death?
To Banner.
The ethics of this. No worries.
Banner.
First DNA splitting in 1974. First gene splice 1986. First cloning 1997. The potential benefits it's no limit. They're mind-boggling. We're at the 11th hour. I can't talk about ethical questions.
Sam Dash, lighting a cigar.
You're damn right. I leave them to the thinkers, not the doers. This is about progress. Wall Street and 11 million investors are betting we'll get to the Mars first. And you know they say what they say about last placers.
Molly.
Yeah, they're nice guys.
Sam Dash. Askance at Molly. Askance? I've never even seen that word before in my life.
Don't let me down, Banner.
Banner.
You'll get your results, sir.
Sam Dash walks off with the amalgamated executives. Molly watches them leave, then turns to the window. McGurk.
They're not going to bite, Doctor.
Molly, under breath.
They might, after we're through with them.
Interior, Gamma Facility, Molly Mickelson Surgery. Day. U.S. Marshals at the door. The convicts, manacled, sit in chairs. Molly's assistant, Claire, hands each a form. Molly.
I need your medical histories, measles, mumps, asthma, any previous surgeries, anything and everything.
Dissolve 2. Interior, Gamma Facility, Bruce Banner's lab. Day. Banner's inner sanctum. Birds and insects predominate. Cages and cages of pigeons and hummingbirds, and jars of insects, mostly ants and beetles. Banner and his assistant Harold have a squirming beetle pinned under an electron microscope. Banner speaks into a microcassette recorder as he works. Banner.
Successful chromosome extraction of genus Scephonis. Colopetra and Crema Bisidius, or respectively the carpenter ant, Hercules beetle, and Pacific hummingbird.
Aren't you glad they have respective names? Interior, Molly Mickelson Surgery. Day. Convicts Novak and Hector lie unconscious on operating tables. Molly examines their sutured incisions, speaking to a team of surgical nurses. Molly.
Move these two into post-op.
Moves to Deacon.
Beginning tissue extraction of subject Deacon's and pectoris is an upper bicep. Scalpel, please.
Nurse 1 slaps a scalpel in Molly's hand. Molly makes small incisions on Deacon's arms and legs. The scalpel carves out tissue samples and hands them to the nurse.
Tissue sample. Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Molly.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just making sure that I was at the right point. Sorry.
You were. I just read that wrong.
Tissue sample 1. Tissue sample 2.
Interior, Banner's lab day. Banner sits at his desk speaking into a micro recorder. In front of him are files on each convict subject. Banner.
Subject Carl Novak. Implantation of Sparnact pigeon DNA. Ung 17 through 24 in thyroid gland to increase body temperature. Subject Hector Alanid, a implantation of hummingbird DNA, a rung 56 through 74, or in dermal glands to stimulate metabolism. And
Turns to Deacon's file.
Subject Ray Deacon, implantation of genus is Clophorus or Clopatora or Hercules beetle.
Banner looks up. A 10-year-old boy stands there. Ralph.
I'm Ralph. My mom works with you.
I love your Ralph voice. I'm sorry. I had to laugh out loud for that. Okay. Banner.
Hello, Ralph. You like my
Ralph.
mom? She thinks you're weird.
Banner.
She's probably not alone.
Ralph.
Bruce the Obtruse.
Nice. Banner.
Bruce the Obtruse?
It's obtuse.
Oh.
You don't hear that word used very often.
Yeah.
Weird one.
What's this?
Ralph picks up a large plastic DNA model.
DNA. It's in our chromosomes and genes. Looks like a twisted ladder, right? Each of these little rungs carries a separate characteristic. If this DNA was yours, he points at the rung. And this rung might be your blonde hair. And
Molly enters behind Bruce, who doesn't see her. Banner.
this rung might be your charming ingratiating personality. You obviously got that from your mom.
Ahem. Molly clears her throat.
Yeah,
Banner whirls around. I don't know why that's in the description. It should have been a dialogue, but Molly whirls around. Molly smiles curtly.
Father, actually.
Banner.
Oh, Dr. Mickelson, just giving your son a lesson about
Ralph chirps.
deoxynucleic acid, DNA.
Yeah. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Jesus, if someone, because I heard somebody test somebody in a show I watched recently. They were like, I think it was a reality TV show too. They like, if you know what DNA stands for, I'll give you this much money or whatever. They said it perfectly. I was like, no one knows that. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
I also find it weird that it's a form of acid. That doesn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think the word acid shows up way more than just the kind that melts stuff. Mm-hmm. So like hydrochloric acid is like the one everybody knows because it's dangerous. And then it's like, oh, there's a billion other acids out there.
Oh.
Okay. Molly.
Let's go, Ralph.
Ralph goes to Molly. Molly.
The brains you got from me.
Molly exits. Ralph, before exiting, turns back. Ralph.
Hey, it's not a twisted ladder. It's called a double helix.
Ooh! Banner watches Ralph exit. Banner.
Kid's got a future.
Dissolve 2. Interior. Molly Mickelson's surgery. The convicts sit in a dental chair. Oh, no, sorry. The convicts sit in dental chairs in Molly Mickelson's surgery. 3 dentists are working on their teeth. To the side, McGurk observes with Banner and Molly. McGurk.
You mean all three of them aren't in one dental chair?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they
They're
had
just
the funding,
on
apparently,
top of each
to
other.
afford 3 chairs.
Why this?
Molly.
We're pulling all their silver and gold and replacing them with non-metallic fillings.
Banner.
The reactor can tolerate nothing of metal. It's like putting a tin pie plate in a microwave oven. Not good.
Not good. Close on Novak, under the dentist's drill, as he listens to Banner and Molly, his eyes glint. Interior, Molly Mickelson's surgery day. Again, Deacon, Novak, Hector, under surgery. Molly scalpel opens the same small incision. This time implants new tissue. Molly.
Re-engineered tissue sample 4 entered. Re-engineered tissue sample 5 entered.
Behind Molly is Banner, in smock and surgical mask. Interior, transport vehicle, moving, night. The convicts, after surgery, going back to their cell. Each wears several adhesive bandages over their incisions. 2 U.S. Marshals sit opposite. Novak, you feel anything? Deacon, I got indigestion. Hector, my teeth hurt. Dissolve 2. Oh shit, I just lost my place. I hit the scrolling wheel too much. Okay.
Yes.
Hang on. We're on page
We're on
12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my teeth hurt. Okay. Dissolve 2. Interior. Banner's lab. Gamma reactor room. Day. Banner enters his crowning achievement. Enters to his crowning achievement, the gamma ray reactor. See description below. He begins running diagnostics on its components. In a control room, his assistant Harold makes checks on a clipboard. Banner.
Gamma reactor core, check. Gamma reactor beam, check. Radiation modulator, check. Reactor emergency termination switch, check.
Pointedly to Harold.
The second protocol is to cut power to the whole facility. Understand?
Harold. Yes, doctor. Cut 2. Interior Banner's lab. Day. Molly.
Dr. Banner.
Molly, with a sheaf of data, pokes her head in. What? No one's home. Molly walks to Banner's desk. Oh, pokes her head in the door. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She pokes her head in. What the fuck's happening? Okay. No one's home. Molly walks to Banner's desk, glancing around. A well-leafed book is open on the table, print side up. Before she can pick it up, she hears footsteps. Banner enters. He stops, startled by Molly. Banner.
Oh, hello.
Molly hands Banner the data printouts.
The data from their final CAT scans and physicals. Are you nervous?
Banner.
Yes, and excited.
Molly.
I want to tell you what an honor this past year has been. I've learned a lot from you.
Banner.
Likewise, you're an extraordinarily skilled surgeon.
Molly, pleased.
Thank you. When all this is over, you want to maybe sometime do drinks?
Banner stares blankly.
Drinks? Bruce? 2 glasses? You pay the good man and your money? The good man pours? You talk?
Banner.
Oh, I can do that. About what?
Molly.
Guess they didn't teach everything at MIT.
Burn! Just got burnt. Banner. MIT sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Things. You talk about things. Like my son, and I'm a little the soccer coach, and I knit and take jazz dancing classes.
Banner, interested in this.
Really? Are you good?
It sounds so insulting. Molly,
At what? Coaching, knitting, or dancing?
Banner,
The dancing.
Molly,
I'm not bad. I could use a new partner.
Banner.
Ah,
Thinks about this.
I have a broad field of interest. I don't get out much.
Molly
I see that.
picks up book.
This any good?
Banner, embarrassed, tries to get to it first.
No, it's one of those stupid self-help things.
Molly turns the book over. It's John Gray's Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Penis. No, Venus. Banner picks up a pencil and begins flexing it between two fingers. Banner.
I have a hard time relating to women.
Molly.
Always a problem with you, rayon shirt, pocket protector, chess club,
Mensa
NE
types. You can just say Mensa.
Mensa types.
It just means he's really smart.
But deep down, I bet there's a primal side just itching to, let's say, burst out.
The pen, the pencil in Banner's hand snaps. Banner stands up too quickly and hits his head on the filing cabinet. Banner.
Right. Well, we can discuss my primal side over drinks.
Molly's assistant Claire pokes her head in. Assistant Claire. Molly, Dr. Banner, the subjects are arriving. Molly exits, smiling. He watches her go, exasperated. Interior, Gamma Reactor Facility. Approach corridor. Day. The three convicts duck walk in shackles past a phalanx of U.S. Marshals lining the corridor to the prep room. Interior, Gamma Reactor Facility, prep room, day. 2 U.S. Marshals. The younger is named Ted. Stand guard. The convicts sit on a bench. Young Marshal Ted looks at Novak, who stares back. Ted, intimidated, averts his eyes. He pulls out a 12-pack of juicy fruit. Because it's gonna move you. No. Novak stares at Marshal Ted, specifically the gum. Interior corridor from Banner's office to reactor. Day. Tracking with Banner and Molly in white lab coats, walking toward the reactor wing. Now all business. Interior Gamma Reactor Facility prep room. Day. Marshal Ted unfolds the gum stick's aluminum wrapper and raises the gum stick to his mouth. Novak. Hey, pal. Ted looks at him. Juicy fruit's my favorite. Marshal Ted looks at the older Marshal, who shrugs. Marshal Ted offers Novak the wrapperless gum stick. Novak. Ain't got time to chew it now. Smiles. How about one for the road? Marshal Ted offers Novak the pack. Novak, with the shackled hands, plucks an aluminum-wrapped stick from the pack and slides it inside his jumpsuit's pocket. Novak. Much obliged. The door opens and Molly and Banner enter. Banner.
This way, please.
Interior. Gamma Reactor Facility. Frame. Room. Day. Marshal Ted escorts the convicts inside. The frame room has 3 frameworks designed to hold the convicts in place during the procedure. Banner.
Lie on your backs, please.
The convicts lie down on the frameworks. Banner checks their surgical incisions. Molly attaches circular adhesive epidermal sensors to the convicts' foreheads. Banner closes the frameworks. Now they're trapped, safe to be unshackled. Marshal Ted removes their shackles. Banner hits a switch. The pie window type aperture opens in the wall, revealing the gamma reactor room. Interior gamma reactor room. Day. A circular room with white walls. In its center is a turntable with 3 sleds, one for each convict. Above, behind the tinted glass, is an observation room. McGurk and several federal marshals take seats. Banner, using a control console, rotates the turntable. One by one, each convict's framework is conveyed through this pie window onto a sled inside the reactor room. Banner, Molly, and Marshall, Ted, exit. I had to be very specific. It was Marshall Ted that exits. Do you want to stop here and talk about it before we continue?
Sure.
What are your thoughts? I know you're dying to talk about it.
So far, this is quite interesting. It does not feel like a Hulk film. I'm like,
Well, the funny thing is, this is 16 minutes in. On average, a script is 1 minute per page. So, so they are banking on this being like minute 16 at least, I think. So they will take their time with this kind of shit.
Yeah, but if it's only 100 minutes, 16 minutes into it is pretty decently into the film.
I agree. I'm just trying to think of like when inciting incidents happen in movies, it's usually like it used to be that on average was like maybe a half an hour into the movie, you'd see the actual origin story begin or the inciting incident that started it. But like 16 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to the fact that he's Hulk. Mm. It's just the bad guys at this point. So
yeah, it was definitely it's interesting to me how it feels like the director of this very much does not want
the writer would have nothing to do with this yet.
The writer of this definitely, it feels like, does not want any other characters out of the comics when it's for Hulk, because Hulk is like, they could have easily a slide in and instead of say either McGurk either McGurk or Sam Dash, they could have put Ross, and they could have easily put Betty in place of Molly.
Oh, of course.
It's interesting to me how it definitely feels like so far, or at least that they
have very few mainstay Hulk characters.
Yeah,
like it's really weird.
It kind of feels to me like it's Hulk in name, but the writer of this did not really want to make a Hulk film.
It's very possible that this was a scenario where this is not a Hulk fan. He didn't do his research. He wasn't interested in doing that. He just was told the bare bones. And back then, maybe they didn't give a shit that much about it matching. It was a time where superhero movies were so few and far between compared to now that it's like you could do it one way or the other, and sometimes it hits big and it have nothing to do with the source material, and other times you would follow the source material well and it would do poorly. Like sometimes that happened too. So it's tricky to know what they thought was going to work back then. But I could see this would piss off Hulk fans, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't know if Novak or Deacon or Hector are any known Hulk villains, but I wouldn't be surprised if a damn one of them was.
No, I could easily see them like ending up being some kind of like deep cut comic book villains, but I could also see them ending up being just OCs, his original characters for it, like.
But like what do you? So you said this was from the 90s, but I noticed that it did mention the 1990 first cloning experience. So 1997, right? So 1997. So that means this script may have been written 1998 at earliest, or 1997 at earliest.
I see.
But that means it could have come before the big boom in superhero movies like the X-Men started out, Spider-Man not soon after, or not long after, I mean. And X-Men was nothing like the comics. The X-Men movie
Mhm.
featured all the right characters, but depicted them as if they were all in leather biker suits. And it just made them so
So
different.
he wrote his own script from and he was expecting that pre-production could begin in October of 1997. So
Hmm.
he wrote this in 1997. So they're acting as if,
Wow.
which makes
Quick.
me think it's supposed to be set in the future, or this what's happening here.
Oh, maybe.
Happening
I mean,
like
well, what
if they're
year did the cloning in 1997 even happen? It could have been really early in the
well,
year. Who knows?
well, maybe, maybe, but the way they talk about the way they talk about it in the script, I feel like if it was the same year, it's taking place in the same year as when the cloning happened, they would have said this year cloning
Yeah.
has been successful, and not in 1997 cloning is successful, which makes me that definitely makes me wonder if this is supposed to, I guess, be like maybe a futuristic thing.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me. The shit that, and that's the thing too, is like they stopped doing this, I think, soon after, but early in the 90s, it was like anything that seemed out of reach technologically, they'd be like, oh, well, this happens like 30 years in the future. Let's just do that. And it's like that for sci-fi, that does work sometimes, but you gotta pick a realistic jump in the
Hmm.
future. And you would never do that
You
with
don't.
the MCU now, at least not
It,
often, because
I
it would
definitely
fuck up
don't
the
think
timeline.
I definitely don't think you need to do
No,
anything like that for like Hulk, since
no. Agreed.
he started in the 60s, and it
Yeah.
was and you can definitely tell that they're supposed to be in the 60s, is if you read those original comics, and like it's literally in the middle of the Cold War they talk about in those comics.
Yeah. No.
It's interesting, and but also though, also I find it interesting how, you know, there's always been, I feel like at least most adaptations and in the comics, Bruce Banner was working for the government or for a company that has a contract with the government. This doesn't feel like the government is really involved much at all. This is very much a private company.
Amalgamated, whatever the hell it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that very long, ridiculous name. Agreed.
Amalgamated Dynamics, I think is what it's.
Amalgamated Dynamics Gamma Reactor Room. Yeah, that's a lot of it's. Yeah, that's kept coming up. Amalgamated Dynamics. It's pretty funny when you, because like it's the same thing with like even Iron Man talking about Roxxon. It's like these
Mhm.
big companies and corporate, like what is it in Batman with Joker? It's always like Access Chemicals. Yeah, Access Chemicals is the big corporate bad guy. It's funny because those do exist in real life, so it makes sense that that would be, you got a big.
So
I
amalgam.
wonder if he's at his most flawed in this early part of the script, and we're supposed to see like a
Mhm.
growth of him over time, because he doesn't sound very likable right
Yeah.
now anyway, but he does still seem
Um.
shy and nerdy, so that's good.
Mhm. So, um, Amalgamated Dynamics is actually a real company.
Oh no, really?
It it is a special effects company
Oh,
specializing in animatronics and prosthetics makeup. So
so
I
is this
guess
just for
they
the
just
script? Is the
named,
joke that this is their like, we can't think of
possibly.
one, let's think of one later?
I
That happens in
guess
script
maybe
writing. Like you got like
they're
placeholders for now.
like, let's just use the name of our name of the people who are making our animatronic Hulk, I guess.
That's funny. I don't know if a cat actually got in the office, but the door did open. I was
Okay.
confused. We got time for a
Uh,
break.
sure.
All right, I'll be right back.
You want to get back to reading this now?
Let's do it. Where do we leave off?
It was on page 16.
Yep.
And I think it was as you got to it was a Marshall Ted exit.
Right. Okay. Interior, gamma reactor, observation room, day. Molly enters and sits next to McGurk. Sam Dash and the Amalgamated Dynamics executives sit in the back. Sam Dash lights a cigar. Sam Dash.
This is a big day. A big day.
Molly.
Sir, you can't smoke in here.
Dash frowns. Stubs out his cigar. Interior, gamma reactor control room, day. Oh, shit. Hang on.
Yeah.
Banner enters, dons a headset, takes a look through a thick window into the reactor room, and throws a switch. The gamma reactor, recessed in the wall like a massive brick kiln, comes to life with a droning hum. Thick, iridescent green light glows within the gamma reactor's chamber. Into this will go the rotating sleds, one at a time, like an MRI machine. Banner flips more switches, turns more dials, and interior gamma reactor room, day. The turntable begins to rotate. Hector is rotated to the mouth of the gamma reactor and entered. Hector receives 10 seconds of gamma radiation. Hector is removed. The table rotates. Deacon, second, is pushed inside for his first 10-second dose of radiation. Novak, as he rotates toward the gamma reactor, cranes his neck and plucks with his teeth the aluminum gum wrapper from his pocket. His body enters. The green gamma radiation swathes his body. Suddenly, there was a spark, then another, and another. Interior gamma reactor room, day. Banner whirls toward the window, drawn to the sparks. Interior gamma reactor observation room. Molly sits upright. Sam Dash drops a cigar. Sam Dash.
What's happening? What the hell is happening?
Molly bolts from the room. Interior gamma reactor room, day. A shower of sparks erupts from Novak's chest as the aluminum foil gum wrapper reacts to the intense radiation. Novak's body spasms violently. He screams, writhing in the framework's tight enclosure. Interior gamma reactor control room, day. Banner, shocked, stabs the shutoff switch, hits the klaxon, and goes for the door. Interior stairs to the observation room, day. Molly comes barreling down the stairs, almost running into Banner. They race into the frame room. Interior frame room, day. Assistant Harold, startled, sees Banner, then Molly crawl through the tight aperture into the gamma reactor room. Young Marshall Ted appears in the doorway. He too crawls inside. Interior gamma reactor room, day. The klaxon blares. Banner and Molly hurry to the gamma reactor, which drones to a stop. The green light fades. They pull Novak out. Molly takes Novak's vitals. His eyes are rolled. He's convulsing and unconscious. Molly.
Medic! Get a gurney in here! What happened?
Banner.
Ion discharge from something metallic. Check for a cardiac arrest.
Molly does so. Banner rummages Novak's pockets, pulling out the aluminum foil gum wrapper. Banner.
Who gave him this?
Marshall Ted enters, stops, staring aghast. Marshall Ted. It was... Gave it to him. Banner.
You idiot!
Banner and Molly begin to unfasten Novak's framework. Marshall Ted. Doctor, you're not supposed to do that. This man is dangerous. Molly.
He's dying.
Banner pulls open Novak's framework. Novak's eyes jut open. He's no longer convulsing. He was faking. He's alive and lethal. He sits bolt upright, log rolls off the sled and grabs Molly by the throat and slips behind her, vice gripping her neck, using her as a shield. Marshal Ted draws his gun. Marshal Ted, let her go! Molly, terrified, struggles in Novak's grip. Marshal Ted levels his gun at Novak. He's callow, unconvincing. Novak knows it. Novak, I'll snap her neck like a pretzel. Hand it over. Turn the barrel around and hand it over. Marshal Ted, trembling, indecisive, turns the gun around and extends it handle first to Novak. As Novak reaches for the gun, fingers closing around the handle, Bruce lunges, knocking Molly from Novak's grip. Novak levels the gun at Bruce. Bruce backhands Novak's arm, knocking the barrel sideways. Bang! Novak fires. The bullet ricochets through the aperture into a panel of switches and circuitry. A jarring hum. The reactor comes to life. The turntable begins to spin. Interior. Gamma reactor control room. Day. Assistant Harold frantically toggles the termination switch. Nothing. The reactor continues droning to life. Harold runs from the room. Interior Gamma reactor room. Day. Banner and Novak struggle. The gun falls from Novak's grip and scuttles across the reactor room floor. The reactor begins glowing green. Sparks reappear. The hum builds louder and louder. Interior Gamma reactor sub-basement stairs. Assistant Harold sprints down the stairs to the Gamma reactor main housing room. Interior Gamma reactor room. Day. Deacon and Hector scream in their frameworks. Banner, struggling with Novak, screams at Molly. Banner!
Get out!
Marshal Ted yanks Molly toward the aperture. The reactor's hum is ear-splitting as it overloads to critical. Molly turns back, but Marshal Ted yanks her into the aperture. Molly!
Bruce!
Banner and Novak struggle for control of the gun. The reactor is now violently sparking, vibrating. Deacon and Hector writhe in the frameworks. Novak strikes Banner, flooring him, and gets to the gun. Interior. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought I lost my place. Interior. Gamma reactor sub-basement housing room. Assistant Harold gets to the facility's main electrical power circuit breaker. He begins frantically flipping switches, shutting down the facility's power. Interior Gamma reactor frame room. Day. Molly is helpless. She can only watch as... Interior Gamma room. Day. Novak levels the gun at Banner's head. Bam! The Gamma reactor blows. Mechanical debris flying. Gamma radiation blasts the room with astonishing psychedelic hues of green, then red, then blue, then aqua, a burst of shimmering, mind-blowing colors. Banner and Novak turn to shield themselves, but they're pole-axed by the radiation, gripped by the intense force of heat and light, frozen in a single stark tableau like tortured statues. Screams ring out. The humming dies. The light fades. Smoke curls from the destroyed Gamma reactor. Banner and Novak lie on the floor. Deacon and Hector, still in their frameworks, all unconscious. The turntable spins round and around. Slam cut 2! Double doors banging open. Interior local hospital, intensive care, light. 2 paramedics roll a gurney bearing Bruce Banner. They roar down a corridor into the ICU ward number 2. Outside the ICU, the hospital administrator hurries up to McGurk. Administrator.
What is this? You can't take an entire intensive care unit.
McGurk.
You have another? This one's mine.
Administrator.
And who the hell are you?
McGurk flips out his credentials. The administrator squints at the laminated badge. Administrator.
United States Bureau of what? Never heard of it.
McGurk.
There's a reason for that. Now, you'll do exactly what you're told.
Interior Intensive Care Unit, Room 1, night. U.S. Marshals and federal agents flank the entrance. The three convicts lie on gurneys pushed together in the center of the room. Nurses check their vital signs. Interior Intensive Care Unit, Room 1, night. Banner lies on a gurney in a separate area. Molly and Assistant Claire hover over him. Molly.
Pulse normal. Blood pressure or normal. Basic brain and wave normal. All vitals normal.
Molly looks perplexedly down at Banner. Interior hospital corridor. Later. Sam Dash enters. Molly wakes up, pulls him aside, conferring privately. Molly.
They're in shock. Novak's running a site-like temperature, or otherwise, they're in perfect health. No radiation burns, no cell growth, no mutation.
Sam Dash.
No, that's not possible.
Molly.
Examine them yourself.
Sam Dash. Thinking.
Simply not possible.
Molly.
In gamma therapy, what is and isn't possible, I can't predict. It's uncharted territory. Why are you utterly certain?
Narrowly.
What's going on? What aren't you telling me?
Sam Dash.
Just do your job, doctor. Call me when they wake up.
Dash turns and coldly walks off. Molly, troubled, watches Dash, thinking. And time cut. 2. Interior Intensive Care Unit, Room 1, night. The convicts lie quietly on their gurneys. Extreme close-up of Deacon's neck. The skin around one of Deacon's small incisions suddenly pulses. Deacon's eyes blink, open with a start. Cut 2. Intensive Care Unit, Room number 2, night. Dimly lit, Bruce lies there. Suddenly, his eyes flutter, open. Bruce glances around, disoriented. He props himself up on one elbow. He sees something. It's a large fly crawling across the wall. The fly begins to grow and grow. Bruce's eyes widen in terror. The fly grows to the size of a dog. It releases from the wall and buzzes down, lying on Bruce's bed. It stares at Bruce and lunges at him. Bruce waves madly. The fly covers his face, gnawing, scratching. It's about to suck his head off when Bruce awakens, screaming. It was all a dream. Molly hovers over him. Banner.
What time is it?
Molly.
6:15.
Banner.
AM or PM?
Molly.
AM. You've been out for about 14 hours.
Banner.
What happened?
Molly.
I'll tell you in the car. Or come on, I'm checking you out.
Well, come on. He's just checking her out. Everybody calm down. It's a romance written. Okay. Banner sits up, looks around, remembering. Banner.
The others?
Molly pulls open the curtain, revealing the convicts' empty ICU beds. Molly.
They woke up a half an hour ago. McGurk sent them back to their cell.
Cut 2. Exterior. Convict transport vehicle. Early AM. The transport vehicle motors back to the convicts' compound at San Ramos Air Force Base. Interior. Convict transport vehicle. Early AM. Deacon, Novak, and Hector sit shackled on benches. 2 U.S. Marshals sit opposite watching them. Extreme close-up of Deacon's incision. Ba-bump. Ba-bump. It's pulsing hard. Thumping. A black, spike-like hair pushes through the skin next to the incision. In the front cab, 2 U.S. Marshals stare at the road ahead, eyes wary. A loud thump emanates from the rear compartment. U.S. Marshal driver.
What was that?
Exterior hospital parking lot. Early AM. Banner and Molly exit the hospital. McGurk and Sam Dash are by Dash's limousine. McGurk's agents lurk in the background. Sam Dash.
You all right, Banner? Go home and get you some sleep. I'll need a dossier, or no, a damage assessment estimate first thing.
Banner.
Damage assessment? The reactor's shot. The project's over.
Sam Dash.
Like hell. The project's over and we get results. Repair the reactor and we'll start again.
Dash ducks into his limousine. McGurk moves off. Molly leads Banner to her large white Suburban. Molly.
That guy gives me the willies.
Banner.
Where's my car?
Molly.
Claire drove it home. Don't even think about driving. Get in.
They get in Molly's Suburban and drive off. Exterior, desert highway. Early morning. Sunrise. A beat-up Woody station wagon motors down the highway on which the convicts were being transported. Interior, Woody station wagon. Station wagon. 2 words. Woody station wagon. Early morning. Desert couple Marge and Floyd. They drive past a wreck off the highway's shoulder. They slow down to the highway's shoulder. Marge. Oh, can I do Marge?
Sure.
Floyd, go back. He nods. Floyd backs up. There are pieces of torn metal strewn about the shoulder. The highway drops off down a small hill. Marge and Floyd look down at the transport vehicle's shredded hull. It looks like it's exploded from the inside. The shattered bodies of U.S. Marshals lie next to the wreckage. Cut to exterior, desert highway, morning. Molly's white Suburban moves down a different stretch of highway, heading for Banner's home. Interior, Molly's Suburban. Molly drives. Banner is quiet in the front seat. Molly.
Bruce, you awake?
Bruce.
Yeah, what?
Molly.
Something's bothering me. Something Dash said. How long has gamma therapy been around?
A pickup is approaching in the other lane. Banner looks at his forearm with alarm. The skin is gray and splotchy. Banner starts hyperventilating. Bruce.
In concept, about 30 years, but never in practice.
Banner looks up at the windshield. The fly from the hospital is on the windshield right in front of him. Hideous. Mandibles reaching for Banner. Banner screams and flails at the fly, knocking it into Molly's hands, which shove aside the steering wheel. What? Exterior, desert highway, morning. The Suburban swerves into the oncoming lane. The pickup swerves to avoid the Suburban, fishtails and rolls. It comes to a stop in the middle of the highway. The Suburban screeches to a stop. Banner and Molly get out and run to the overturned pickup. An old farmer is trapped inside, and the cab's side and top are crushed. Gasoline drips from the ruptured tank. Old farmer, get me out of here! It's gonna blow! Banner grabs the passenger door handle, but the door is crushed inward and metal flushed out. Gasoline continues leaking from the pickup's smashed tank. Banner impulsively rips the door from the pickup, metal screeching. Banner reaches in and lifts the farmer out. Banner and the farmer scramble away from the pickup as it blows sky high. Molly and Banner and the farmer stand watching the pickup burn. The farmer looks at Banner. Odd. Molly looks at Banner. Odd, and Banner just stands there dazed and confused. And cut to desert highway security vehicle wreck. Morning. Local sheriff Jimbo and his deputy Randy chew tobacco and scratch their heads, staring at the convict's splintered transport vehicle. Government sedans have pulled up across the highway. McGurk and his agents approach Jimbo and Randy. McGurk.
Thank you, gentlemen. And it's Federal Agent William McGurk. That's my vehicle down there. We'll be handling this from here.
Sheriff Jimbo. Feds, huh? You FBI? Customs, alcohol, and tobacco? Deputy Randy. Maybe he's CIA, Jimbo. McGurk flips out his credentials. Jimbo and Randy stare at the laminated badge. Sheriff Jimbo. Never heard of that one. Listen, Agent McGurk, there's some fishy stuff down there. I put a call into state forensics. McGurk.
We don't need their help. You can go now.
McGurk turns and walks off, firing orders to 3 trailing subordinate agents. McGurk to Agent 1.
3 men on foot. 1 hour lead time. I want a 20-mile perimeter with all roads blocked.
To Agent 2.
Call Pendleton and Edwards as we say. We may need aid military assistance.
To Agent 3.
Get me the Pentagon and put 24-hour surveillance on Andy Taylor and Bernie File back there.
Barney Fife. Barney Fife is a very hillbilly character, deputy from the Andy Griffith Show from the 1950s, I want to say. So anybody being called Barney Fife after a while became like, oh, that guy's an idiot type of thing.
If they hear anything, I want to hear it too.
Nice. Back with Jimbo and Randy as they walk up to their patrol car. Deputy Randy. Damn, Jimbo, we got our very own Roswell incident. And I was the first on the scene. I'm getting 1.5 for the book rights. I'm going on Letterman. I'm calling the Inquirer right now. Sheriff Jimbo. There ain't no aliens, Randy, and you ain't selling anything. So just shut the hell up. An old hippie.
Think that there's aliens. Aliens. Isn't this just a prisoner convoy that got that it crashed?
But it was a prisoner convoy that looked like it was blown open.
Okay.
By an explosion of some kind, like a creature exploded from it. An old hippie, Bernie, crosses the road to meet them. Bernie the hippie. There you go. There's a character for you.
Let's see. Hey, Jimbo. Oh, what's going on?
Better clear out, Bernie. G-men down there, they don't like counterculture types like yourself.
My purple MVs, MW, who's gone. VW's, who's gone. I'm boosted it right out of my driveway. Hey, I'm bummed worse than when Hendrick died. I've had that baby since Woodstock.
And cut to a weathered peace sign bumper sticker and widen to exterior desert road morning. Bernie's stolen purple microbus motors down a road. Interior purple VW microbus morning. Novak at the wheel. He looks sunburnt. Deacon in the back. Pull over. I gotta get something to drink. Something sweet. Coke, apple juice, anything sweet. Hector. We're dying back here, Novak. Novak, shut up, both of you. We're gonna go someplace and hide out. We're gonna be cool, and we're gonna figure out what to do next. Cut to exterior Phoenix Sunbird subdivision. Phoenix suburban subdivision, not sunburnt. Morning. A Phoenix planned subdivision where all the houses look the same. Molly pulls the Suburban into Banner's driveway. Interior, Molly's Suburban. Morning. Banner and Molly sit quietly. Banner.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Molly.
You pulled that truck apart. Like it was 10 foil, Bruce.
Banner.
You're the medical doctor. You tell me.
Molly looks and watches.
Shoot.
No, sorry, looks at watch.
Shoot. Ralph's soccer game.
To Banner.
Listen, go inside. If you feel weird, anything at all, call me on my cell.
Banner gets out and leans in the window. Banner.
Dr. Mickelson, Molly, thank you.
Molly.
Get some sleep.
Molly pulls out of Molly pulls out of the driveway. Banner walks up the driveway past the Porsche Roadster with a bike rack, and on back he taps it affectionately. At the front door, Banner pulls out keys, then stops, looking at his arms. The greenish-gray splotchy area has widened. Banner sees something across the street. A creepy old man. Steel gray crew cut like Samuel Beckett standing there with a Schwinn 10-speed staring at Banner. Banner, unnerved, enters his apartment. Cut 2, interior. Bates Motel? Like the site of Psycho? What the fuck?
Yes.
A crappy little desert motel. Novak finishes signing the motel register. The manager hands him his key. Manager.
Boogaloo 9, right down from the pool.
Novak sets the pen on the table and exits. The manager picks up the pen. It has melted where Novak's fingers gripped it. The manager stares at the pen. Bates Motel parking lot, Bungalow 9 and day. The purple VW microbus pulls up outside Bungalow 9, located down a rocky slope from the motel pool. Novak gets out and opens the back door. Deacon and Hector, cloaked in blankets, climb out. We can't see either. The convicts pile inside Bungalow 9. Novak tosses the deceased U.S. Marshals' wallets in a dumpster, pocketing their cash dollars. He slides 3mm handguns. I think it's called millimeter handguns in his waist. And it's interesting to me, the gun culture uses metric, but not imperial. But Canada's known for using metric, not imperial. So a 9mm handgun is a normal thing to say in the States. And yet that's anyways. All right.
Funny thing is, like, I feel like the same like gun owners would probably be like, no, we can't do metric system. No, that's no, that's.
Do y'all have something smaller than inches? What's smaller than an inch? It's just fractions of an inch, right? That's harder to say. Yeah, that's fair. Cut to security vehicle wreck. McGurk's command day. A quickly assembled hangar with communications linkage. The convicts' transport vehicle is being reassembled like after a plane crash. McGurk's agents examine it. 3 agents surround McGurk. Agent 1.
Wall was burst. It's from the inside.
Agent 2.
We found this. I thought it was a fingernail. It's not. I don't think it's human.
Agent 3.
The scratch marks on the guard? Not human.
Sam Dash's limousine pulls up. McGurk walks up to it. McGurk.
A couple of yahoos found the van. They saw nothing. Local sheriff was sniffing around. I got rid of him.
Sam Dash.
Does Banner know about any of this?
McGurk.
Not unless you told him.
Sam Dash thinks.
Let's keep it that way.
Oh!
Find them. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care what it takes. And McGurk, no press. If this leaks, our problems are just beginning.
The door slams. The limousine drives off. Interior, Bates Motel, Bungalow 9, noon. The blinds are closed and it's very dark. Crusty old TV plays in the corner. In the bathroom, Novak, his skin's glowing red like a severe sunburn, pours the last of 20 bags of motel ice into the bathtub. He lowers his glowing body into the ice cubes in the tub. Novak smiles. Deacon, hurry up. Novak, I gotta get a Milky Way or something. I need sugar. I got a craving you wouldn't believe. Camera tilts through the bathroom door to get a view of the bedroom. Two creepy silhouettes are thrown against the bedroom wall by TV light. Deacon's looks vaguely insect-like. Hector's is stranger. His arms are fluttering at an inhuman rate, like a hummingbird. Hector, you got money? Let's order out, for God's sakes. Camera tilts back to Novak in the tub. The ice in those 5 seconds has entirely melted to water. Shut up and let me think. Do we want to end it there for tonight?
That's fine with me. Yeah, need it there.
What do you think about this so far?
It's very weird. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think it makes it's making for an interesting story, but or it doesn't feel like what I'd expect. It's surprising that this is only like 100 pages, because this really kind of feels like it's a much more slow paced story than what you would expect from this.
100%. And if this is something from the 90s, especially, like that's how superhero movies were originally. It was like super slow. Like the more characters you add, the faster it would go. But like if you were trying to assemble a team, but it's like, it's weird the amount of focus we're getting on the villains. But it's so funny to me to hear the name Novak. Like the name Novak is used, I feel like, way too much for villains in general. I don't know if there was a famous last named Novak criminal or something, but that's a character in Blade. That's a character in this, and I feel like it's definitely a name I've heard more than twice. Maybe in some other movies that weren't comic book related, but holy shit. But it's cool to see like them focusing a little bit on the villains, but I feel like we're not maybe getting much of a focus on Bruce.
Yeah. Like you would think he's like the main character of this, but I would say they're treating I would say the villain's really as main character. I don't think any of the I wouldn't say like either McGurk or Sam whatever or even Molly feel like main
Sam
character.
Dash.
Yeah, Sam Dash. None of like the villains are the only ones that feel like they're
getting a focus.
Like all the rest of the characters very much feel like they're side characters. Even Bruce feels like a side character to me. It
makes me wonder, because the only thing at this point that they could really have to build off of as far as live action is the Hulk series that we're used to, where he's been so established as the main character, and maybe that's why they feel people could probably do with they don't need as much of a Bruce focus for the show or for the movie, I mean. But it's weird to me to hear like an origin stories superhero. It doesn't surprise me as much knowing now what I know about the fact that they're doing a pretty heavy animatronic Hulk. So it's almost like the movie is about the villains until Hulk can stop them, and therefore they don't have to give Bruce or Hulk that much focus, and it be somehow. And hey, this is not a movie that got made.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because of that it didn't get made. But it is interesting that they would give Bruce specifically, who we're supposed to cheer behind, so little time. It's weird.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I feel like he doesn't really particularly to me feel a lot like Bruce Banner. He doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like he's like just completely different, but he doesn't feel like like just everything I would expect out of Bruce Banner. It's definitely I feel like they're trying to say that it's maybe slowly coming on the Hulk persona with the with I guess he was able to he was a little bit stronger because he tore something apart.
That bugged me too, because I was like, the whole point of Bruce and Hulk is that he does not have the powers of Hulk until he's Hulk. So you can't have this weird gray period. But also, I feel like gray matter. It's black and white.
I feel like it's weird. That's a weird choice for if you're having an animatronic Hulk.
Yeah. Very much so. Like you could say, like maybe they would shoot it with like some makeup on an arm that suddenly made it gray or green, and then he was stronger for a second. Like, but then later they'd show the full transformation. Maybe it was because of the animatronics that they would just make it a slow burn. But I think that would be a disservice for the character. Like, you don't want to watch a Captain America movie where the focus is not Steve Rogers. Like, I don't want to see an origin story where the focus isn't the guy we're learning about.
I'm a real quick look up if there's any characters from Marvel Comics named like Novak, Hector,
Deacon, Novak, and Hector. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, they sound like generic Hulk villains, but I don't know anything about Hulk characters beyond Hulk and Ross and Betty and yeah.
Let's see, Novak. There's Francis Novak is the name of a serial killer in one universe that which murdered his wife and girlfriend. And his wife and the girlfriend he acquired afterwards. And he would later be killed and eaten by the cannibalistic killer Hania. Okay, so Novak doesn't seem like he's based on. I don't know if he's based on that character. Let's see, Hector. Let's see if there's. I feel like it's not gonna be the human Asgardian hybrid. Probably not. Or someone who is friends with Peter Parker. I'm guessing a Hector is just like it's like a completely OC, and then Deacon feels like that's a name of someone.
Deacon, I mean, these are names that like they come up so much in like action movies alone that I'm like, oh, these are cool last names that apparently Hollywood has decided are cool sounding, so they'll pop up over and over again. Yeah, it's funny that like Deacon and Novak, Hector not so much, but I mean, he's probably like, if I'm to predict in this script now, I would guess Hector was the first to die, or the first to get defeated at least. Maybe he'll be incarcerated, saved, whatever.
What I'm very interested in is since I said at the beginning, like what I read is that they were planning on making for the big boss fight at the end and a super Hulk animatronic as well as the normal Hulk animatronic. Which makes me wonder if somehow how maybe these three bad guys somehow get merged together into a gigantic Hulk somehow.
Maybe it is strange to me that they're setting up 3 supervillains. So yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
like a Voltron of Hulk baddies.
But this was definitely a very interesting start to the script. I'm interested in continuing doing this script for some more episodes in the future. It's probably not going to be for a while that we do get some more of them, but we'll definitely get back to this at some point.
Hell yeah, this was fun. It's fun to read. It's fun to read a format of writing that I got to learn at post-secondary schooling, because it was like script writing was very much about the format, and there's certain programs that can help writers learn about those formats easily to like know what's the difference between setting up a scene to description of the scene to knowing what parenthesis and all this other stuff, like just to learn the language of it. But it's cool to put that skill to use, so I appreciate being able to read those things.
Thank you. But I'm honestly really happy I was able to find this, because honestly is I've actually been wanting to do another script thing ever since we did the that Powerpuff Girls one, because that was honestly so much fun on getting to read that. So it's really interesting getting to read like about the ideas of like things that could have been that never ended up happening. That's it's really cool to me. I hope one thing that I really hope is since most likely we're never going to end up actually seeing the Batgirl movie. I hope that at some point the script for it gets leaked, so because I would love to be able to hear actually what happens in that film.
How cool would it be? And any listeners out there who know James Gunn, just let him know that it would be great if a year into his tenure at DC, he was able to bring back that same script, bring back that same cast, couple reshoots, couple whatever, bring back that fucking movie, because that's so stupid.
I don't know if they legally can, because because it was write off on their taxes, I guess, or something, and which is so I don't know if they legally can. They might be able to bring back actors from it, but then bring
back the idea and get it done right, and get it done maybe slightly differently, but like, come on, man.
I think
if watching the Fantastic 94 has taught me anything, it's that scripts can be nearly exactly what they end up being later. So if you could just give me the Batgirl movie updated, like a redo, a refresh, that'd be,
I guess.
Yeah. James Gunn.
I think
I'm talking to James Gunn right now.
It'll be good. But I think a couple things though with it is that one, I don't think they'd be able to get Michael Keaton to do it again. That's true. And also I don't know if it would make sense, because it's with things that have happened now. But I also don't know if they would be able to get Brendan Fraser, because I say that because I imagine his fee as an actor probably has gone up since he won an Oscar.
Yeah, you'd hope, right? You'd hope. What are they doing? What are they releasing? The last of the Doom Patrol show?
Yeah,
now?
At some point though, this year they're planning. I think they're gonna be releasing the last of that.
Yeah. So he's trying to fill out and complete that chapter, which I appreciate about him. But yeah, he shouldn't need to. I think he can do bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to see him do.
Yeah, I would
stuff. But hey, let's get the same actress that was meant to play Batgirl.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I hope that they try to get her back, but honestly though, I don't blame her if she's not willing to, because it was honestly it's so disrespectful what a waste of her time,
and effort, and she probably put her whole fucking heart into that role, and then you get the rug pulled out from under you. That's not cool, and that shit wouldn't happen in if she was in a Marvel movie. Not to say that.
To be honest, though, I would not be surprised if she ends up at some point appearing inside from Marvel. The reason I say that is because as I expect at some point we're gonna get a Miss Marvel season 2, and the directors of Miss Marvel are the directors from Batgirl.
Bring her in. Same way that we see several people from DC hopping over to Guardians 3 with the Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. Like, let's share your resources. Get your actors to jump ship or come back and forth. And Kevin Feige and James Gunn, just keep being friends, because everyone benefits when both are done well. So, many comic book fans are not glued to one or the other. Many comic book fans want to see one done well and the other done well. They don't need to see them both competing and one failing. No one wants to see that. That's a very sad thing. It's like you go to a boxing match and you see one doing really well and the other guy failing. No one wants to watch that. Same with a football game. Same with I'm trying to pull out sports references, John, and I don't have them in me, but you know what I mean, right? You don't want to go see a game that's unevenly matched. You want to see both doing well, and then it makes it more interesting.
A couple last things before we end this off. I want to mention one. Last week, like as I think we mentioned at the beginning of this, the reason why the Incredible Hulk is now on Disney Plus is because we just had this 15-year anniversary, which is really cool. And then also today, as of filming this, today is the 20th anniversary of Hulk 2003 as well.
Ooh, Nice.
Yeah.
So what are you
So
going to do?
that's
Are you
really
going to
cool.
genetically
I don't.
enhance your poodle? What's going on?
I
What are you
don't know.
planning? Are you going to
I'm
send a love note to who is it? Sarah, what the hell's her name? Sarah Connolly? No.
uh, Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connolly. Shit. Yeah.
I feel like Paul Bettany might not be appreciate if I did that.
What's Vision? Is Vision going to phase through you and come out the other side, ripping your heart out? Maybe. You're right.
Maybe
Good point. Don't mess.
it is
Right.
okay.
Good point.
Because for anyone who doesn't know, Paul Bettany and Jennifer Connelly are married.
For how long?
I think
I
they've
mean,
been
just
married
because
for a while, but I
just
don't know
because
how long
just because
exactly.
they're a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. Is that not what they said? I'm
Also,
kidding.
other thing I want to bring up, is last week, a James Gunn went on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Asked Inside of You, and one of the things he mentioned is that he actually is that he actually, before he did Guardians, he had wanted to do a Hulk film, which is interesting to me. I don't know how a Hulk film directed by him would go, but I think it would be interesting.
Oh, absolutely. It would just to see a cohesive perspective on the Hulk the same way that you get like with 3 Guardians movies, you get as different as they are from each other, you get a growing similar vision from a one person. And they could plan a trilogy. It really all
I
the
feel like,
shitty thing is that it all depends on the success of the first movie in a
oh yeah.
trilogy. So if the Ang Lee movie did much better, then you would see 2 other Ang Lee Hulk movies.
Yeah.
It would have been great to see the same vision. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like James Gunn is very good at planning multiple films in a
I think
trajectory for an ensemble
I think
cast.
it would definitely been a very unique Hulk film, and I probably would have ended up enjoying that. He said like basically what he was saying was he knew that a big character like the Hulk they would not allow him to do, but because he was such a small indie director,
Yeah, at the time.
but aside like Guardians of the Galaxy, where nobody knew about Guardians of the Galaxy, they were like, yeah, sure, you can do that.
Yeah, misfit,
Oh,
quirky weirdos, and a weird tone. They just knew
I think
the tone they wanted to get the guy to do, and they picked the right guy. Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if now since there is like a rumored Hulk film that could be happening in the next X set of years is I think actually for that, since it's supposed to be like World War Hulk or World War Hulks plural. I think it'd be interesting to see see what James Gunn would do with that. And I also think one thing that I think would be very cool with that with him doing it is since he is very big on soundtracks and exactly how he uses them. I think there would be some really cool songs that very much fit the Hulk that he would use for one that I think would be amazing if he used is there's a song like from the 60s or something that I actually like called it mentions Hulk. It's literally called Nobody Loves the Hulk. And it's like supposed to be like an in-universe thing, I think. Even though it was not made by anyone in Marvel, but I think it was just made by like someone who was a big musical artist who was a fan. He wrote the song that is basically like everybody's scared or something. I Am the Hulk. And I think that would be really cool to see that song put into an actual film.
Do you know who I want to direct a Hulk film for the MCU? So there's this director that is named Neil Marshall. He's a producer, writer, director, but he's probably most famous for a couple of things. He directed a horror film called The Descent. Then he went on to direct a couple episodes of Black Sails, a couple episodes of Game of Thrones, a couple episodes of Constantine, a couple of episodes of Hannibal. But he went on to direct Hellboy, the 2019 version of Hellboy.
Have you seen that 2019 version?
Yeah, with David Harbour. It's so underrated, man. That
I
shit
like
is
I
so.
like it. I
They
like
need
it.
to
And
dive
and the
heavy
thing,
into a Hulk kind of thing, the way that
I
they did this, because they didn't have to
yeah,
give any explanation for the very deep lore that Hellboy has.
mhm.
They didn't have to go into major origin stories. They just said, "Hey, accept it or don't.
Mhm.
This character is awesome. Just watch." And
even
that's
though
what they
even
should
though
do with
the
Hellboy.
even though I love the like Leonardo del Toro Hellboy films.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, same.
There's one thing particularly that the 2019 Aang Hellboy film did that I
What?
really love, and that was letting it be R-rated.
Yes, yes. And I don't think I don't know if we would ever get a Hulk. I don't think there's
I'm
enough
not saying
demand
I'm
for
not
Hulk
saying
to be.
Aang
But you're
Hulk.
right to
I'm
dare
not
to
saying
dream
Hulk.
and have a director who does that for sure.
I'm not
Would be
saying
great.
Hulk needs to be R-rated, but
No, I know what you
I'm
mean.
saying like
Start
I
there and
kind of
dial
wish
back.
I kind
Yeah,
of wish that the Gennaro del Toro ones were allowed to be R-rated because I think
yeah,
if he
yeah.
had was allowed to do that, he would have done something really cool with those.
100%.
Um,
100%. I agree with you. And
I think.
to start with a director who could maybe have carte blanche in that way and make a more violent Hulk movie and then dial it back a bit would be more fun than going, oh, make a funny, campy, lighthearted Hulk and then we'll add some violence. It's like, no, start painted black and then dial it back for color. Don't
think
start Technicolor.
one thing I would really enjoy. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I would like to see a Hulk film that's it's completely separate from everything else in Marvel, and it would be a direct adaptation of his original origin. So it is set in the 1960s, and I would be wanting Wes Anderson to direct it.
Oh my god, man.
I think that would be amazing. I think he could do that. I think the sort of 60s feel to it is kind of perfect for him.
I don't disagree that Wes Anderson could do a 60s feel to you're right. You're right. And it's funny because that's the idea, the difference between our two ideas of what we'd like to see with the Hulk.
I'm not saying I don't want to see yours. I'm just saying this would be like a sort of like Elseworlds thing that I would love to see as a separate thing.
Exactly. And I want to see yours. And that's what I think the suffering of what comes from the MCU and everything having to exist in the same universe comes from this idea of we can't see a variety of some of our characters in tone like this. Like if I wanted to see the most violent version and dark version of Hulk in the most modern era, I would want to chant and root for one thing. And then what you're suggesting is something that I would absolutely pick up as a comic book and therefore also want to see, but neither one of our ideas might fit with the MCU and where they're going. But because of the MCU and where they're going, everything has to fit that kind of rhetoric and that kind of flow and vibe. Whereas what you're talking about would be really fucking exciting. And same thing as like seeing like Legion, the TV series, like that tone and creepy vibe of like bygone era, but also super violent future kind of stuff. You can't see someone experiment that much with something that is supposed to exist in the same universe. So they only can push things so far outside the tonal realm of the MCU. It's tough. It's tough to like. I loved Vision or WandaVision for that reason. They could play with tone because it was all within Wanda's brain. And so you could see these really weird and out there ideas, but also bring back into a darker area. And then eventually we had to see her become a villain and everything, that big arc. But if there's not a whole lot of excuses you can give to get outside the
Mhm.
MCU tone unless someone can manipulate reality. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I would love to see a Hulk
Oh yeah.
done, or any MCU thing done by Wes Anderson. It
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
work in the further thing
Obviously.
unless
Yeah.
there was something that could manipulate time and tone and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
they could
like
play with the Kang
that's
stuff.
the thing. It honestly does kind of sadden me though how out of all of the Hulk adaptations that there has been. There has never been an adaptation of his original origin of how of it being set in the 60s, it being like it being feeling like this Cold War thing where he's out in the desert with the
Yeah.
military testing weapons. There's never been an adaptation that Asian
Well,
actually does that original origin.
didn't the 2003 come close with showing
Well,
like
it showed
his
himself
dad?
it showed like his dad worked with
Yeah.
them with them
They
in a
have to
desert
update
sort
shit.
of thing, but
Yeah.
there's never been like something where he's like been the person and
Yep.
doing that and like um and I think it would be really cool if we actually saw that and like have it that he's not inside of a building when he gets hit by the gamma rays. No, he's out in a testing
Yeah.
field and he's trying to save someone
Yeah.
by pushing them out of the way. I think that would be really cool to actually see in live action.
It's funny because you mentioned like the connection to timeline and connection to things that were big in the current events of the time when the comic characters were created. And like other than Captain America, which is a character that you could say, oh, he was in the ice this many years, and just keep
Mm-hmm.
expanding it until it makes sense for our modern era. Like you've got, yeah, like you say, Hulk and X-Men, where, if you're not going to talk about Magneto specifically being in a concentration camp or in a like an Auschwitz kind of scenario, then you're going to have to update it and
Yeah,
make it
I
something
can't. And
equivalent, which you don't have an equivalent to that. It's going to be something really changed, which is fine. Adaptation is
mhm.
fine,
Oh yeah,
but you're right.
I
It
think
does better lend
yeah,
itself to
it would
an
be
earlier era.
it would be so
Um,
cool to actually be able to see that and like in the proper time period so that you can have like just an exact one-to-one adaptation of what we saw in the comics and like
yeah.
they can also like if they did that they can play with having like how in the original comic like it wasn't anger that got made him turn the Hulk in the original comic like he turned to Hulk at night and like you can
Oh
and
yeah.
you could have that for this like Elseworld sort of film as well. I think
Hmm.
it would be really fun and like you can have like how in those original comics they had General Ross Oz created a missile shaped like Hulk to fight him with. He shot a missile that was shaped like Hulk. It's so
Can I tell
ridiculous.
you?
It's like
That's dumb as shit, but it
yeah,
sounds fun as fuck on film. If I
yeah.
was to see that, I'd be like, that's hilarious. I want to see that continue.
It's such a thing. It's such a thing of its era that you
Yeah.
wouldn't see that now. And like I think that things like the ridiculousness of things like that make me just make me want to see like some kind of I have like actual one-to-one adaptation of what that could have been like on film.
Yeah. Fair.
Um, yeah, and like you could have and you could like make reference to how they had the trouble with the printers causing him to end up being green by having like in the first like 10 minutes of Hulk being out have him be gray and then just he changes and they don't even mention it.
That's awesome.
Like I feel like I could see something like that in sign as Wes Anderson. I feel like I
Yeah,
could
no, you're
see
right.
him
Yeah.
doing something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I well I don't think there's much else to talk about, so let's end this off for tonight. I thank you for
This was
joining me for
awesome.
this.
This was awesome.
Yeah,
I
this
love
was a
I
lot
love
of
reading this script from
fun.
scratch with something that I've never seen before. This is really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, all right. So, thank you everyone for listening. If you like this gamma analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode, so please let me know. And if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more gamma analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Master John, signing off.